The day's finally come, boys. The day has finally come. And I'm ecstatic. Derek Moneyberg on Ariel Helwani's podcast. And Ariel fully exposed the man. I mean, it's an hour-long podcast. I watched the whole thing and, bro, I really wanted to just watch the whole hour-long thing with you guys. But, I think that's too much copyright, But thankfully, Ariel clipped it all up with, not timestamps, but captions and shit. So these are all the important parts. We got look at all these not bookmarks, but posts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't know if these are overlapping because this is Jed Goodman, but Uncrowned 2, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we're going to go over all of them, bro. 15, 16. And there's some good shit in here. The beginning of this interview, notice how Ariel just kind of sticks his hand out from afar, shakes it, doesn't really embrace him, and then instantly exposes his real name first and last. So we got to watch this, and then we'll get into the clips.
Chat. We've talked a lot about Derek Moneyberg over the past month or so, stemming from that confrontation with Sean Strickland in the hotel hallway. There's a lot to talk to him about. Let's not waste any time. Let's say hello to Derek Moneyberg, who is here in studio to talk to us right here and now. Appreciate him coming in. Hello, sir. How are you?
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Thank you so much for coming in. Really appreciate it. And appreciate you taking the time as well. How are you?
You notice that? How he just kind of a little bit contentious, is it not? Look.
Appreciate him coming in. Hello, sir. How are you?
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. Thank you so much for coming in. Really.
Just a little handshake, sit there, moving on. I just want to see one last thing, how he stacks up next to Ariel, because Ariel's not that big of a dude.
In. Hello, sir. How are you?
This guy claims he's
nice to meet you as well.
Okay. Ariel a little bit smaller than for sure.
Well, thank you so much for coming in. Really appreciate it. And appreciate you taking the time as well. How are you?
Doing well overall.
Yeah? Overall?
Well, if you don't have a couple problems in life, you're not doing much of anything, are you?
Sure. Is there a big one? Or you're just saying the daily? Okay. By the way, just out of respect, what do you prefer to be referred to as, Derek, or do you want to go by your real name, which is Dale, right?
If you say my last name on the air.
Buzkowski? Did I get it?
That's why we use Derek Moneyberg. Because
okay.
In Poland, you'd say Buszkowski.
Buszkowski.
But nobody in America, nobody can pronounce the name. So this became a good marketing name.
So you prefer to...
So that's why he says it. But look, Ariel already exposes shit. He's saying, that's why I don't use this name, right? Just listen to this real quick. Now, I got to give Ariel his flowers here. I'm not always the biggest fan of Ariel, but I'm a big fan of this piece of work he did right here. And I was a big fan of the piece of work he did with Francis. So Ariel been, getting the good interviews and asking the tough questions. So I respect it. At the end of the day. Credit where it's due. They're speaking about the name, and I just want to point it out before they even get to it. He's saying, my name is Dale Bukowski or something like that. I think that's a Jewish last name. But he says, that's why I go by Derek Moneyberg, because Bukowski is hard to pronounce, right? Ariel's going to be like, okay, yeah, I get Bukowski is tough to pronounce, but why Derek and not Dale? And then he's like, well, it just goes well with it. And in my opinion, bro, this is just a personal thought. This is just a personal fucking thought. But I just think that he romanticized the name Derek. He just liked it. I think that's all it is. A romanticism with the name Derek. He always wished his name was probably Derek or something. But his real name's Dale. I guess that's an excuse, for Moneyberg, marketing, hard to pronounce. I get it. But Dale to Derek, that's nothing but a romance between names here. He wishes he was named Derek. Keep it a buck. Derek's kind of it's a step up from Dale. I'm not going to lie to you. It's a step up from Dale.
To be
Derek is fine. You can call me either. I don't mind.
Okay. Where did you come up with the name?
I know, just a fun marketing name, It has to be something, related to money, because I'm in a finance or wealth creating type of business. And I'm half Jewish on my father's side, which, some people say that's not a Jew. But my ancestors died in the Holocaust, so we were Jewish enough for that. And It was just a funny marketing name. It's catchy, slightly obnoxious or provocative to some people, and it works.
Just why didn't you go with Dale Moneyberg as opposed to Derek?
I thought Derek sounded fine.
Okay, all right.
He's also breathing super heavy, super nervous. I might have even been sweating if I was breathing that heavy if I was him. He's breathing super heavy. His belly's moving in and out. You can see he does have an ice water. That's a solid move right there, veteran move. In case it gets hot.
And when did you come up with this sort of persona? How long ago?
We started that business in 2019.
And what's that business?
So the Moneyberg business. So that website and the social media assets we started creating in 2019.
And who's we?
Me and my team.
Okay.
I own 100% of the business.
How many people are a part of your team?
I have several contractors, and then a few people I work closely with, and then a couple extended groups of contractors and whatnot.
So when you say the Moneyberg business, that's the wealth management business?
Yes.
So people come to you to learn how to get rich, invest, increase their
the primary
portfolio.
Well, first of all, I don't manage anybody's money. To be clear about wealth management,
Okay.
I don't touch anybody's money. I don't manage anybody's money. That's not the sort of thing that I'm interested in. I'll leave that for Wall Street people that are nearby here.
Sure.
But, I help people with entrepreneurship and help them understand how do we start a small business and scale that. I help them understand fundamentals of real estate and how to invest in real estate. And there's many ways to make money in real estate. And then I help them understand, global markets, primarily the stock market is there.
So kind of like a consultant?
I think of it as like a wealth coach, or I try to help people make decisions that would lead to long-term wealth. There's no get rich quick. There's no get anything significant quick. But I try to help people think about their finances in a way that, over a period of time, that they could have a lot of financial freedom.
And this question may come off the wrong way, but it's not from a malicious POV. What makes you qualified to be that guy?
Well, I did all of those things.
Okay.
I built a real business. Unlike most people on the internet that talk about those things, I built a real business.
Which was what?
I helped build. Let me answer the question.
Okay. Well, no.
So I built this business. I just got my ClickFunnels plaque for $50 million in revenue in this business. Previously, I was involved in a dating business that I didn't own, but I was involved in building it. And my brand within that business, we did about $6.25 million per year at the time that I left that business. I made tens of millions of dollars in the stock market. I made over $10 million in real estate and profits. I went to the #1 business school in our country. I went to University of Chicago's Graduate School of Business. So I do have the right academic credentials. I'm not a PhD. If you want to, there's a lot of PhDs that don't have any money. So most people on Wall Street aren't PhDs either, but they make a lot more money than PhDs do,
So someone may be watching this and thinking, okay, why is Derek Moneyberg on? Is he on to just talk about, being a wealth management coach? Of course, you're not on to just talk about that. You have become somewhat of a combat sports, and I should say specifically like an MMA/BJJ story over the past 3 to 4 years or so. I first kind of started to notice your work when, I would start to see a lot of fighters with you on your show, a lot of fighters on your YouTube channel, on your social media. And the first thing that drew me to the scenes were that they were all wearing these shirts with you. And then we started to hear about your journey as a BJJ practitioner. Mm-hmm. Could I ask, just starting at the beginning, your interest in MMA and BJJ, when did that begin, and why did you just start to feature so many of these guys and gals on your YouTube and your socials?
Related to that, and I'll answer your question directly, but just...
He goes off about something like, the passing of Duke Rufus, which is respect, and then something else. But then he answers the question. So I just wanted to watch the first 5 minutes of this just to kind of give context to the interview. And now we'll go over the clips. All right, so this man live in studio, so it starts here. He goes, I just got my ClickFunnels plaque for $50 million in revenue in this business. Previously, I was involved in a dating business that I didn't own, but I was involved in building it. My brand within that business, we did about $6.25 million per year at the time that I left that business. I made tens of millions of dollars in the stock market. I made over $10 million in real estate and profits. I went to the #1 business school in our country. I went to University of Chicago's Graduate School of Business. So, that's kosher so far. I mean, we can't tell. We don't know. But, I mean, word on the street is his grandma passed away and he inherited all the money. That's the word on the street. Just so you guys know. He can say all this. Derek addresses receiving his black belt in 3 years and 7 months.
Years later.
And and so this all leads to you getting your black belt. You have your black belt in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. About 4 years later.
And from what I was told, it was around 3.5 years. From what I've read.
3 years and 7 months.
Okay, 3 years and 7 months, which is, as you know, you don't need me to tell you, an unbelievable feat, like almost unheard of. Some of the greatest BJJ practitioners of all time, BJ Penn, 3.5 years, Kyotera, 3 years. Like, you're in that discussion. And I think this has drawn the ire of the jiu-jitsu community. You probably don't need me to say this to you as well, right?
Well, BJ Penn congratulated me, by the way.
Sure.
And BJ Penn was my inspiration to do that. I knew about that for, I don't know the number of years, but maybe a decade before I started, that I'm like, wow, like if I ever do that, if I ever get into MMA, I need private lessons. I need to do that with the best guys because I'm getting, I was getting older. You're not going to catch up. And
How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 46.
Okay.
So BJ Penn was like legitimately my inspiration for that I'm like, all right, if I ever do this, I have to do it the way he did and have, private instruction with black belt, with high-level instructors from the beginning.
This guy just tries to game the system. Like he's saying, he's 46 years old. BJ Penn earned his black belt in his fucking 20s. In his 20s, in 3.5 years. And you're like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to basically compete and do it the way BJ did it. That's what he just basically got done saying because he's 46 years old. So he had to, do privates and basically this whole way that he gamed the system. That's what he's trying to explain. It's like, no, bro. If you couldn't do it the way BJ did it when he was in his 20s, there's no way you could ever do it when you're 46. Like, congratulations, you were inspired to earn it in 3 years and 7 months. Congratulations, you were inspired. I'm inspired to do a lot of things too. It doesn't mean I can fucking go out and game the system just so I can achieve it. You're like a spoiled little kid, bro. Like, you can't accept it. You could have never, you still are not in conversation with BJ Penn. It's disgusting that we are even putting your guys' names close in a conversation right now. It's even disgusting. But it's like, just because you were inspired by BJ's accomplishment doesn't mean you could ever accomplish it. And you didn't, bro. So fuck off. And Jake Shields, disgusting work, bro. We get into that in this as well.
Regarding the amount of years, yeah, maybe that's a shorter amount of years. Regarding the amount of time, I spent more time in the gym than most of these people that, I'm not a professional fighter. And I think there's some confusion on the internet about that. I'm a professional businessman. I'm not a professional fighter.
Well, then right there, you don't get a black belt in 3.5 years. No, businessmen, hobbyists don't get black belts in 3.5 years. And he calls himself a hobbyist too. Point blank period, dude. I'm so glad that we got you on finally to address all this shit in a public platform right here. He just admitted it right here. If you're not a fighter, right? If you're not a competitor, then you're out of the conversation immediately. And I'm going to say this as many times as I have to until it gets fucking nailed in, because it can never get moved. That's always the fucking standard. So let's keep going with this.
There's nowhere on the internet that I ever talked about, I'm going to win this competition. I'm going to win Worlds. I'm going to win ADCC. I'm going to be a UFC champion. I started in my 40s, dude. Like, that's not a realistic thing. It was never my goal, but it was a good thing for fitness. It was something that was in the back of my head that I always wanted for, like, self-defense, that, like, I'm a big guy and I'm in my 40s and I can travel around the world and feel pretty safe. 20 years from now, when you're in your 60s, are you really going to be able to protect yourself or protect your girl or your family if you don't have some, like, real fight training? It's probably not realistic, And I really like to travel. I've been in a lot of countries. Probably you have too.
He got cotton mouth. He might be on a beta blocker, huh? Xanax or something. Who knows?
So I'd like to have that confidence later in life, and it's a good fitness thing.
But okay, all that's fine, right, Derek Moneyberg? All that is fine. But that doesn't mean you need to have a black belt in 3.5 years. You talk about wanting to defend your girl. You talk about wanting to be in shape, right? Wanting to defend yourself once you're into your older age, to be competent, right? Because I'm assuming you're trying to insinuate that, like, physically you lose a lot of attributes. So the least you could be is competent in some type of combat or martial art. I get it all. That doesn't mean you need to have a black belt in 3.5 years. So why did you get it? Just because BJ Penn inspired you? You're disgusting, bro. You're fucking disgusting. And, like, the fact that you just This is him. You know what I mean? He, like I said earlier, he romanticized the idea about creating his name as Derek. You know, Dale Bukowski, right, was laying in bed at night, dreaming up, being like, I wish I was Derek. I wish my name was Derek. My whole life would be turned around if my name was Derek. Okay? Romanticizing about that. He has to have it. He goes and gets his name as Derek. All right? Now he fucking romanticizes the idea, oh, I want to do jiu-jitsu and I want to become a black belt in the fastest time. I mean, I don't even believe you would have thought that early on, but that's what you're saying, so I'm going to hold you to it. You romanticize the idea of being like the next BJ Penn, which is just crazy. And you have to have it, and you go ahead and you game the system. Now, you know what I mean? We all want to have the shit we want. We all want to have the shit we want. We all do crazy shit, right? So I do shit that, you know, I want to have shit too, right? I want to have shit too, and I go get that shit. I go take that shit, you know, right or wrong, right? We all do it. So, but with this, bro, with this, I don't fuck with it, bro. Not in a sacred thing like jujitsu, bro, because you don't have to do that. Like what? You're like, what is it, bro? You can't live without being a black belt? Like, what the hell is it? What the hell is it? You can't live without being a black belt. Like, I get it if people are like, nah, bro, I just want to, like, get high and shit like that. Like, I'm sorry, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want me to, but I want to get fucking high, you know what I mean? Like, I get a lot of these things that people cave into. Like, I'm, you know, because I'm saying everything he wants, he has to have. And sure, you know, buy whatever you want with money and shit like that. But when it comes to a jiu-jitsu black belt, when it comes to changing your first fucking name, bro, there's something wrong with you. All right, end of discussion, end of debate. You could take whatever you want in this life. You could have whatever you want in this life. But these two things are egregious, bro. Changing your first fucking name and going for a black belt. I got a fucking sibling, okay, that changed the spelling of his fucking name. All right, and I don't even speak to him, so I don't give a fuck that I'm going over this right now. But I got a sibling that changed the spelling of his name, and I find that to be disgraceful. Okay, let alone changing your whole fucking name, dude. And the fact that it was Dale and then you go to Derek, it just shows the romanticism. Like you're like, oh, like only if it was Derek and not Dale. Like, fucking A, bro, you're insane. Fucking insane. Changing your name, getting a black belt. Like Ariel said, change your last name then. Sure, Dale Moneyberg, why not that? Oh, because you're horny to be called Derek. Keep it a fucking buck, bro. Laying in bed at night, looking up at the ceiling, wishing your name was fucking Derek. I had no clue your name was Dale.
Feet. Like almost unheard of.
We already watched this clip. Next fucking clip, bro. Here we go again. Here we go.
I'm not a pro fighter. I never. You got to focus.
Why not compete in any sort of competition?
Because I don't give a shit. Because I'm 46 years old and I don't make money. I'm not a pro fighter. I never had the dream to.
Not a pro fighter. But you have said you will compete against Sean Strickland, right?
That's a very different context. You got to focus.
Why not compete in?
I'm not a pro fighter. Well, listen, I wasn't a pro fighter either when I was 18, 19 years old training jiu-jitsu, competing. I wasn't a pro fighter either. But I went and competed. You know why? Because I wanted to get the blue belt faster. And if I didn't compete, I wouldn't have gotten that blue belt inside a year of training. Right? That's a fucking fact, dude. Not only did I compete once, but I competed twice. In my first year to get a blue belt. I mean, that's not even that much. It's not even that much. 2 times isn't even that much, to be honest with you. But I mean, if you want to be competent, you got to train for at least 6 months. So it kind of was, you know, it's in the middle. Some people do more. Some people do about at least 2 or something like that. But I'm just saying, bro, I wasn't a pro fighter either when I was training and competing in jiu-jitsu. What the fuck are you talking about? There's rules to this shit, bro. When you can't, because in jiu-jitsu, right, you can't pull out your wallet. You got to go do it. That's the problem with this shit. You got to go do it. Your wallet means nothing, bro. You and I, we walk into the gym, Derek Moneyberg and I, okay, and we both abide by the same set of rules. No amount of money changes that. And that's what the problem is here. That's what the fucking direct problem is. And again, he's saying he's not a fighter. He's not this, he's not that. Well, then you do not get a black belt within 3.5 years. Only active competitive fighters get their black belts within 3.5 years. And you don't have to be a pro fighter or whatever you want to call it, but fighters can also be called, you know, jiu-jitsu athletes. That's why I'm using that word fighter like that. You know what I mean? Unless if you're a real jiu-jitsu athlete competing, right, competitor, you can get your black belt in 3.5 years. There's precedent to that, depending on how you do in these tournaments, right? If you run through everybody and dominate and force your way up, it is what it is. But you don't get to do that by paying Jake Shields 300 fucking bands, okay? Because that's how much he reveals he paid him, around 300 fucking bands to get a black belt. You dog-faced fucking gremlin, bro. You dog-faced fucking gremlin. So he's never competed? Fuck no, Jew. Fuck no. And I've been saying this, bro. This dog-faced ass gremlin, bro.
In any sort of
Because
competition.
I don't give a shit. Because I'm 46 years old and I don't make money. I'm not a pro fighter. I never had the dream to be
Not a pro fighter, but you have said you will compete against Sean Strickland, right?
And the thing about Sean Strickland that he talks about, whether we get to it or not, I'm going to reveal it now. He's like, yeah, I did say I'll compete against Sean Strickland in a jiu-jitsu match, and I don't think he can submit me in 5 minutes. I don't think he could tap me. Bro, you are the black belt within 3.5 years. Stop moving the goalpost. You should be able to tap him. Talking about he can't submit me. You can't submit him. You're the black belt within 3.5 years. You should be able to submit a Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland got his black belt in like 10, 12 years. You know, whatever it was. So it's flipped, bro. Not Sean shouldn't be able to submit you. We're not doing that. You are the legendary guy who got the black belt in the same amount of time as BJ Penn. You should be able to submit Sean Strickland. Quit moving the fucking goalpost, bro.
People focus on 3.5 years.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal because this means the world to these guys.
No, dude, I
This
did
is
the
their
same.
blood.
I did the same amount of training they did in less years, and
You did the same amount of training, but you didn't do the same amount of competing. And there's a huge difference, bro. There's a huge fucking difference. There's a huge difference, man.
I did it
don't
with
believe
I did
that.
it with their icons and idols, and I think there's a jealousy component to that.
I did it with their icons and idols, and I think there's a jealousy component. Nobody gives a fuck that you kick it with Jake Shields. Like, no one's sweating, bro. No one's sweating because all you do is pay him. I mean, you think that I wish I was kicking it with Jake Shields and Glover Teixeira? Do you really think that? Do you really think that? Lyoto Machida? Who else does he have on his podcast? Joe Pfeiffer? Vicente Luque? Henry Hooft? Do you really think I wish I was kicking it with these fucking guys? No. And I would admit, if there was a sick fighter that went on there, tell me a sick fighter. I mean, I guess what, Justin Gaethje or something? But I mean, Henry Cejudo's ass went on there and shit. Like, I ain't dying to kick it with these guys.
That I do.
Respectfully, I don't believe that.
You
These men and women
may or may
do
not
2,
believe it.
3 a days since they're teenagers, and it takes them 10, 15 years to get a black belt through blood, sweat, and tears. UFC.
And here's the other component, right? Ariel said they do 2 and 3 days. You know what they do in those 2 and 3 days? They do live rolls. They do live rolls with the class and anyone who steps on the mat that day, right? Any given time. There's always new people joining the gym. You're always getting tested. You're always sharpening the live rolling skills too. 45 minutes drilling, 45 minutes live. Okay, it hasn't fucking changed. All this guy does is 45 minutes drilling. It's not the same thing. 45 minutes drilling or even an hour and a half of drilling is not the same thing as 45 drilling, 45 rolling. It's fucking not, dude. Let alone the competing aspect is missing. So you're not even live rolling in the gym, let alone competing. I can't wait till this guy gets to his fucking sock saga. The sock controversy. This idiot and his marble fucking floors. I'm skipping around, but just stay with me.
See, title
For
fights
some
and
of
all
that,
this stuff.
that's I don't
We've
even
never
speak,
seen you in a competition. We've never seen you in one competition, even like a white belt competition.
because I never tried to be a competitor. I
But
had
then
no interest in that.
but then that calls into question this black belt. The black belt feels
question
like a Happy Meal black belt.
Then you're here questioning it, and that's okay.
So
I don't really mind if you question it.
You don't. You don't.
Yeah, you don't mind because you already paid for it and you got it, and there's nothing people can really do, I guess. But we're gonna keep exposing you like this. That's what we're gonna keep doing. And Ariel keeping it a buck. What up, Turtle Vlog? Ariel keeping it a buck. He said it's a Happy Meal black belt. The fact that you never competed, not even as a white belt, is a direct call into question. Direct call into question. Red flag on the play.
Because I'm happy to hear that because you've had some issues with people who have criticized you in the past, right? There's a famous case with a YouTuber, Spencer Cornelia, where
That's not criticism. It's slander and
thought defamation. You felt like he was He was hitting you below the belt, so to speak.
He said numerous lies about me and repeated them to a broad audience.
Ultimately, the case got dismissed, though.
The next court
now
date,
you're appealing
we're
that.
on appeal.
Yeah.
And in the Ninth Circuit Court, the next court date is less than 2 months from now.
So that's still an ongoing case he's got. But this guy's a clown, man. This guy's a fucking clown. He did sue somebody over the fact that they didn't agree that he was a black belt. And now he's suing Sean Strickland over the fact that he doesn't think that his business practices are sound, which we're going to get into. And just know, guys, everything I've said, go back and watch the clips. I have clips of this too. You don't even got to go to the live streams. Watch the clips of Derek Moneyberg on my channel. They've all been posted over the last 2 months pretty much. Rewatch those clips and come back to this Ariel interview, right? Doesn't matter which order you do it. You can watch the Ariel interview first, although it might be better if you watch the clips first. Watch the clips first, and there's going to be barely any new stuff you learn in this. It's just the fact that, Ariel gets to dig in deeper. But all the stuff Ariel's asking about, I've pretty much already told you guys. I've already told you guys about this shit. The fact that I mentioned it's a Diddy situation, bro, and he pays these guys to sleep at his house is crazy fucking work. He probably has hidden cameras and shit like that and blackmail. I guarantee it.
One thing.
I guarantee it, bro. Those rooms that he sets these guys up in are bugged to the max. What's this quote? I've been to some of the professional gyms where it's 80 degrees in the room and there's puddles of sweat. I'm in a room with 1 or 2 people and it's air conditioned to my liking. I've got 15 rooms in that property that have marble floors. My toes get cold on all those marble floors. I happen to wear socks around, and then we go over to the training room and I have my socks on. Derek Moneyberg shares why he wears socks while training. This fucking clown, dude.
One thing that's been brought up is that you are often on the mats wearing socks.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
I'm wearing socks right now, by the way.
No, I know, but
Your audience might be interested to know.
yes, as am I. But when you typically see jiu-jitsu practitioners on a mat, they're not wearing socks.
Okay, that's their prerogative.
But is there a reason why you are? That you're sort of the anomaly when it comes to this. I've never seen this before.
Yeah, a typical jiu-jitsu practitioner is in a sweaty room with, I've been to some of these professional gyms where,
Right.
I don't need to say their names, but nothing wrong with it. But I've been to some of these professional gyms where it's, 80 degrees in the room and there's puddles of sweat, and you know what this looks like. You
Sure.
know what it smells like. I'm in a room with 1 or 2 people are with me, and it's air conditioned to my liking. And I got 15 rooms in that property that have marble floors. So if you want a funny joke, but happens to be true, is my toes get cold on all those marble floors.
Okay.
So I happen to wear socks around the property. And then we go over to the training room, and then we go train, and I have my socks on. And who cares?
This fucking guy, man. This fucking guy. The fact that you're complaining about a sweaty gym, the heat, and all that stuff, that's part of it. That's fucking part of it, bro. All the suck is part of it. You're in a gym that's air conditioned with 2 dudes to the point where you don't even have to take off your socks. That shows how little of rolling you're doing. Can you imagine Turtle? We got Turtle in here saying, first day in BJJ gym, instructor told me take off your socks. Bro, that's crazy work. You should have known better, Turtle. But yes, okay, even if you did happen to keep the socks on, all right, those socks, if we're rolling, bro, aren't staying on for very fucking long. I'm telling you, bro, those things are coming off. It just shows the level of rolling that this guy's even doing with guys like Glover and Lyoto, okay? Turtle, keep training, bro, because within 6 months to a year, you're tapping this guy. This guy hasn't even rolled to the point where his socks come off his feet. And he's too worried about his toes being cold, but he's got the air conditioning on. Get the fuck out of here, dude. We don't give a fuck about you and your marble floors and your subtle flexes. That's a weird flex, but okay. But okay. They're coming off, bro, within a fucking minute. I'm ripping those things off, if anything. That's the thing. Derek will get bullied, bro, in a gym. They'd be taking off his socks, making videos, joking on this dude. Alright, so here's another one. Derek Moneyberg defends strategy of paying fighters to appear on his show. If somebody's a multi-time UFC champion and I paid them $5,000 to show up, and then I'm just showing respect for their time. There's a lot of things they could do for that. So yeah, Derek kind of explains why he pays guys, but there's more to it. You're asking them to live with you for like 3 to 4 days at a time and train you. So of course you're really taking away their time. You're not just like being a fly on the wall type thing where you just kick it with them briefly. You're like asking them to do all these things for you. So of course you got to pay them. Cuz it's not just an interview. You know, the interview is an indication that these boys had a sleepover, okay? If anybody has been interviewed, just know they had a slumber party. And again, he has no credentials, so there's no way he could ever get these guys on without paying them. Who would he have been? Again, he always has to use his money to buy shit. He can't rely on shit. You know what I'm saying? Look what I'm doing, right? And look what he's doing. I ain't never even paid a fighter. But at least I did it the fucking hard way, bro. Created some clout, you know what I mean? Created some type of platform to where I can offer something to the fighters, to where I don't have to fucking pay them because I'm just a complete nobody with a fucking dream and an aspiration. I'm not a retard. That's all this dude is. All he has is dreams and aspirations, and then he finds a way to game the system to go get it. You're not doing shit for nobody. I mean, I guess you're just lining their pockets. But I'm saying the real way, the hard way, is to fucking create a platform on your own 2 feet, on your own merit, without buying ads, without doing all that shit. You got no talent, bro. You got no fucking talent. You got no real questions. I hear what you be asking these guys. You be talking more about yourself than you be talking about them. Because you don't even know shit. But honestly, what kind of benefit does he want to get from that BS black belt? I'm genuinely curious. I think it's just engagement and rage bait. That's the only positive I see that comes out of it. Engagement and rage bait. You know what I mean? It's like if he never got that black belt, he would never be on Ariel's show. So again, it's this weird romanticism and like this is almost like, what do you call it? A humiliation ritual. Like he's willing to be humiliated, right, for fame. And it's like the easy way out, which is all good. You know, if you're going to do this, I mean, I wouldn't do it like this. So it's not the easy way out because I wouldn't choose this path. But this is the path he's going for. It's like it's the quickest and easiest way to do it, right? Get this fake black belt. Now you're on Ariel's show. He was ignored when he was doing interviews. I think he uses the black belt for promotion and to keep pushing his business. We keep talking about it, and I'm not going to stop. I'm enjoying it too. Oh, but wait, let's watch this real quick. He wants to be a notable, considered tough guy. I guess, bro. I swear, Jew, it's more of a romanticism than anything. Because every time he gets brought up, he's like, I'm not a fighter. I'm not a fighter. I'm 46. Like, he plays both sides. He's like Jake Paul. He's like Jake fucking Paul, dude. These guys are the worst. Literally like Jake Paul. You can't have both, bro. You can't, oh, I'm old and fragile, but I got my black belt sooner than anyone. No, dude, you're old and fragile, right? You're old and fragile. He's just a brat, dude. This guy's just a brat. Bottom line. If he didn't get the black belt, he'd be fucking crying. He's a brat.
We're good.
Can I be honest about your videos?
Don't lie to me.
Okay, I won't do that. I'm not a liar.
Go ahead. What do you got?
I'll say this real quick to Turtle so you know what I mean. I know Jake Paul's an athlete and I respect him for that. My thing with Jake Paul is that when he loses, he turns around and he's like, oh my God, you know, I just fought the greatest fighter of all time, Tank Davis, right? One of the pound for pound legends in the sport, right? He plays that whole setup. He talks about all the positive things, but he doesn't speak about the fact that he's 50 pounds heavier than him, right? Doesn't speak about that. So like, best believe if Jake wins, Tank is trash. Tank sucks. I told you, I exposed boxing. Boxing ain't really real, right? I came in and fucked this whole shit up. But if he wins, he gets to play that other side, which is, oh yeah, Tank, I'm so grateful for the opportunity. Only 10 fights in, and I'm already fighting guys like Tank. You know, guys have been doing their whole career and haven't even been able to get to this point, and I did it in 10 fights, and I've made all this money. No, bro, you don't get to have both too. It's disingenuous. Just speak a fact, bro. Or keep your mouth shut. Stop rubbing it in people's faces. That's the other thing. If you're gonna be like a bullshitter, right? Stop making, this is the biggest thing. If you're gonna be a bullshitter, stop making other people try to fucking sign on and believe it. Just keep your mouth fucking shut and your bullshit popping. You know what I mean? Keep the bullshit coming and keep your mouth shut. But you guys want to pop your bullshit and then you want to, nobody likes me. It's like, well, dude, because you're fighting Tank Davis. Like, or you because you fucking got your black belt in 3.5 years. Like, I told you, with Jake Paul, go fight Richard Torres Jr., the silver fucking medalist in the Olympics. That's who I want to see you fight. Fight him at heavyweight, and if you do that, I would give you respect. Go fight Richard Torres Jr. You want to talk about all these things like I'm fighting this guy with all these accolades at this low point in my career? Yeah, all that would stand against a guy like Richard Torres Jr. And if you beat Richard Torres Jr., you beat a guy your size, in his prime age range, who's actually younger than him, fucking a silver medalist in the Olympics. There's so much you could gain for that, but why don't you do that? Why don't you do that? Because you know what's going to happen. You know what's going to fucking happen to you. And that's a side note. That's a tangent. Drew says, yeah, Jake at least fights. This guy just cries. At least Jake fights. My complaint isn't even about the boxing with Jake anymore. You feel me? Like, the boxing, not even the problem. My thing with Jake is his copes.
A little uncomfortable sometimes watching the interviews because it feels...
We're good.
Can I be honest about your videos?
Don't lie to me.
Okay, I won't do that. I'm not a liar.
Go ahead. What do you got?
I'm a little uncomfortable sometimes watching the interviews because it feels to me like these are fighters who are taking a paycheck from you, just being honest. I've heard around like 7,500 or so. Is that accurate?
That sounds pretty high to me.
Okay.
Even with inflation, that sounds pretty high.
What is it per appearance?
It depends who it is. Some people I give them nothing, and some people I might have give them
feel
five.
bad for those people. Other people are getting paid and they're not getting anything.
Well, when somebody shows up on your show, you have to make a decision who you're going to put on your show or not. Who are you going to? So there are some people that are at a place in their career where they're a talented person, where I personally like them, and I think let me help give this guy some attention. Maybe that's good for his career. Okay?
I guess the thought is that people think that.
And if I could fully answer, then there's somebody else. It's if somebody's a multi-time UFC champion and I pay them $5,000 to show up, then I'm just showing respect for their time. There's a lot of things they could do for that.
Do you think you can get guests without paying them?
I get a lot of guests without paying them.
Okay, so then on the show, it seems like it's a lot more of you talking than you interviewing them.
Okay, I'd like it to be something like.
I don't think he can get guests without paying them. I don't. And maybe at this point, but let's put it like this. If he never got that fake black belt, he wouldn't have been able to get guests without paying them 100,000%. I mean, who's the lowest profile guest he had on? He definitely paid Vicente, and he definitely paid Joe Pyfer. And he definitely paid Henry Hooft, not even a fighter. He's paying all these guys. Let's be real.
Like 50-50 storytelling.
Do you think it is?
I've never measured it, and I don't really give.
Ariel says that he talks more about himself, right, than he talks about the fighters, which I just got done telling you guys. And he interjects and says, I think it's about 50-50 back and forth. Ariel goes, you sure about that? I ain't never even watched this shit, bro, but I've been heard this several times.
Give a shit. I feel comfortable doing exactly what I'm doing. And a lot of those people, that was a good...
I also heard this dude power trips on them as soon as they pull up to his fucking complex, his little compound. Like, they go in an elevator and shit, and he doesn't say a word. Shit like that. Super weird. Goofball, bro. Goofball. I would tap this guy out so fucking quick. And no bullshit. No, oh, you're the black belt in 3.5 years, right? See, this is what I'm talking about. This is the fucking energy this guy doesn't fucking have. He's the black belt in 3.5 years, right? This is what Moneyberg would say if I was Moneyberg. Because I'm calling him out. I'm saying I would tap this dude real fucking quick. Real fucking quick. I'm feeling guillotine on this dude. That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking I would guillotine this dude so fucking quick. But this is what I'm trying to say here. He's the black belt in 3.5 years. I'm a fucking blue belt only. I'm only a fucking blue belt. So how about this? Why wouldn't I say, oh, you can't tap me in 5 minutes, Moneyberg, because that's the easy way out, bro. That's the easy way out. That ain't even fucking cool to say. That ain't even fucking cool to say. But when this guy, all he's done is buy clout, right? Buy attention, buy views, right? Ariel talks about that too. Buying his fucking views, buying engagement. He don't know shit. He got no talent. I'm telling you. I'm telling you what he should say, right? And I just told you, I wouldn't even say the shit he says because that doesn't even sound cool. And I gotta fucking say the fucking cool shit. Because I can't be out here. I don't got fucking 5 bands to spend on 100,000 Instagram likes. Straight up, dude, this guy doesn't know shit. This guy doesn't even know how to fucking be entertaining. Because everything he does, let's put it like this, right? Everything this guy does, shortcuts. Shortcuts. That's why he's having a mini panic attack on Ariel's fucking show, because he doesn't even belong there. They're all shortcuts. This fucking guy. Mr. Shortcut.
Vetting process, if you will, or a feeling each other out process, where I asked a lot of people to do interviews, and then people, if we kind of had a natural fitment together, then I say, hey, would you consider coming to train with me?
Right. I've heard that. Like you'll
That's been very useful.
You'll pay them X amount to come on the show, and then you'll say, hey, here's a deposit or so to come to stay with me in Chicago. I heard you have an incredible place in Chicago.
It's a nice place.
I believe Sammy Sosa's former apartment. Is that not true?
Would you like me to say your address on that?
No, but
I mean, come on.
Do people know exactly where?
Please don't do that.
Okay, no, I had no idea. I think that's a huge deal. No?
Next thing, please.
Okay.
Damn, I missed that when I watched the interview. Damn, so he lives in Sammy Sosa's apartment. That's crazy. That's wild. He was not happy about that. In Chicago, Ariel's setting him up. Setting his ass up. Chicago is not the place you want your address leaked. Especially being a dimrod like this. Oh, he's fucked, isn't he? Derek Moneyberg might actually be fucked, bro. Ariel shouldn't have done that. That might have been low-key a little bit unethical. That was one of those moments where Ariel was probably sweating bullets. He's like, oh, fuck, that wasn't right. I don't know why I did that. If you want to know, if you really want that info, you can get that info. His address, quick now.
If Sean Strickland accepts your offer, the official offer is what, 5 minutes? And he can't tap you.
I don't think the guy had tapped me in 5 minutes. We have a legal.
That's the offer.
We have a
right?
legal dispute to clear up first.
Oh, what's that?
If he's open-minded about that later, I'd be open-minded about it.
What's that? What's that?
I'm not going to discuss the legal thing, but he has a pending legal case.
Are you suing him?
Pending. I am suing him
For defamation?
I'll let my attorneys deal with that.
Okay.
But I do it. It looks like I'm going to have to sue him. Yes.
Okay, because of the things he said.
He said a lot of very nasty things that are true, that are false, and that hurt my reputation and hurt my brand. And so I don't like that.
If he says yes to the match, does the case get dropped or the lawsuit get dropped?
Those are two separate things.
Okay, so that has to be settled first, the lawsuit, and then the match?
I think that would make sense, yes.
So I feel like we're not going to see the match. I was kind of excited about it, to be honest.
I asked him to his face before this if he'd like to do the match, and then he continued to say more false things and repeat lies and create new lies. And I wish it wasn't that way.
Okay.
I respect him. I think he's a very talented fighter, and I have a very good relationship with many other people around him. So I don't know why he made that decision, but that's the decision he's made.
I'm going to say something right here. I think that Derek Moneyberg actually did like Sean Strickland. I really do think he liked Sean Strickland. But again, bro, it ain't your fucking world, bro. You act a fool, okay? You've made a name off of bullshit. Let's just say it. Bullshit, complete bullshit, all fabrication. Paying for views, paying for likes. I'm talking about YouTube. I'm talking about Instagram. I'm talking about everything, bro. Everything is fake with you. Everything. And like, you got money, dude. You got fucking money, so I don't know what the problem is. I guess you just want the attention. You want the likes and attention, which proves my point. The black belt is more of a clout chase. That's what it is. That's what you get out of it, clout. You got money, bro. I'm telling you, if I had the money this guy had, I wouldn't be tripping. I wouldn't be tripping at all. Why do I give a fuck if anybody knows me? This guy wants to be liked so bad. He wishes Sean Strickland liked him too. But I think it's crazy that he's so fake that like he really thinks, like, if I was him, I wouldn't go out in public. Even with the shit I say now, there's times where I just consider to some degree about like running into fighters, right? Or whatever the case. So I always try to keep it honest. And I don't give a fuck if I'm honest about it. It is what it is. But I never try to be like, really disrespectful or anything like that, because I'm aware, right, that I gotta stand on what the shit I say. And this guy, right, by even challenging Sean Strickland to a 5-minute jiu-jitsu match, is not standing on the shit you say being a 3.5-year black belt. It's not. That's not standing on what you say. Because if you're in a 3.5-year black belt, if it was me and I was claiming that, I would be like, no, I gotta be on the BJ Penn status. You know what I mean? Nobody can even tap me, right? But this guy really thinks he can get a black belt in 3.5 years and then claim that, like, you know, he can't. Like, I didn't mean to say what I said a second ago. I was meaning to say, if I'm a 3.5-year black belt, I gotta be able to tap everyone out, right? If somebody survives against me, that's a problem. But this guy really has the audacity to flip that entire script and be like, I'm a 3.5-year black belt. You can't submit me. No, dude. The 3.5-year black belt should be submitting everybody. And there should be video proof of it too. But yeah, he's suing Sean Strickland. He doesn't say it in here. We already did a clip about it. But he's suing Sean because of the claims that he steals from his followers, basically. He's a predator. Go peep the video if you want to get context. But there's more here, so Ariel asked Moneyberg if he buys likes and views.
The coaches that trained with me know.
Yeah.
The coaches that trained with me know. The people that matter know. And the people that don't know, it's not my job to satisfy every critic and hater in the world.
That's fair.
I don't. You know what? Critics
people
don't
think.
get paid much.
You don't care what people think. So can I
Why
ask?
should I care what the random? Why would I care what a random person thinks?
Okay, so then that's you should be that way. Why, when I go on your Instagram, do you have like 40, 50,000 likes but 100 comments? That would suggest to me that a lot of those likes are bought, and that would suggest to me that you do care what people think if you're buying those likes.
You know, marketing is marketing. You market your show the way you want to, and I'll market my brand the way that I want
That's
to.
100%. But you just said you don't care. So then why would you buy?
You're changing the
engagement?
context you just changed the context 3 different ways.
How?
So we were talking about Mikey, which I was going to clarify and say the last word here, and I'll do that, and then we'll carry on as you wish. But Mikey and I are good. I said I don't think it's fair to be held to that standard that I'm supposed to beat world champions. I never trained to be a pro fighter.
Now he says it's not fair to be held to the standard that he can beat world champions. You cannot make this shit up. How the fuck are you not supposed to be held to that standard, bro? It's one standard. It's one standard. There's not fucking a sliding scale based off of your age and potential to where you can have a black belt because you're 46 years old. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, dude. If you're 46 years old and just getting into jiu-jitsu, it's even longer for you to get your black belt, and you got to just accept that. You just got to accept that for what it is. Just like older fighters who get into MMA late in their life, you got to accept that you just got to go balls to the wall because you can't slow roll it. And it is what it is. You don't get that luxury. You don't get that luxury either of getting a black belt in 3.5 years. Fucking dumbass. Just going ahead and saying, I don't think it should be expected of me to even be able to beat world champions. Well, these world champions that you're saying that you can't beat didn't get their black belts as fast as you. But wait, you're 46 years old, right? Okay, so you deserve it quicker without doing half the work just because you're 46.
Sure, I'm not a pro fighter. I'm a hobbyist fighter. I train for self-defense. I'd be very effective in those areas. Mikey and I are good. So shout out to Mikey, respect to Mikey.
Darth Rigatoni.
Darth Rigatoni, indeed.
Man.
That guy's very talented. I like him. I respect him, and I wish him well. And I hope neither
Will
one
you
of us
follow
have
this up on your channel or no? Are you just going to leave?
I'm here with you.
No, I mean, but your last video.
Maybe it's on my to-do list this afternoon.
It's a tough title to give someone. You and Jake Shields spent 45 minutes slagging him off, the poor guy.
I wasn't mean to him in that thing.
I thought you guys were a little harsh.
I thought he was harsher.
Okay, fair enough.
And we had a conversation since then, and I'm done with that.
All right, fair enough.
And I respect him, and I wish him well. And you know what? And I'll probably take the video down furthermore.
The Instagram likes, they're bought. You've just confirmed that.
I didn't confirm that at all. I don't manage every little thing in my business.
Do you buy
I do have
Instagram
marketing
engagement, social
agencies.
media engagement?
I do have marketing agencies that help me with things, and however they want to run things. If the results are showing, then I'm good with whatever they do.
But that's hollow, no? Isn't that hollow? Because then it's not real.
You know the one really weird criticism is sometimes people say like, you bought followers, blah blah. Like, there's bots.
Yeah.
Well, everybody has bots, and I don't want bots.
Sure.
And you don't want bots, but you have them. And
I don't buy.
Well, I don't either. I don't either. And you know who has the most bots is the more famous you are, or the bigger account you have. I read, I don't know if this is true, but I read that Kim Kardashian, like 35-40% of her followers are bots. Like,
Dana White's got a lot of bots. Dana White has a ton of bots for some odd reason. I know that to be true. There's a reason why everything he says becomes like the narrative. Even Dana, it's so easy for him now. He's starting to lose touch on like what actually does real views because he got so much bots pushing his shit. Anytime you speak negative about Dana, there's just this sleuth of online fucking like people defending his ass and just basically talking positive about him. In super generic ways too.
Fake, not because she bought them.
But that also shapes public perception and public narrative. You know, people see that who don't know how to form opinions on their own. People see that and then they start to echo, you know, those voices of the bots and shit. But he's saying he doesn't buy it. He has a marketing agency and he's okay with them doing it. And he just acts like, you know, it is what it is. Two different things, though. Two different fucking things. Some people just get bots, I guess you could say. I mean, Ariel seems to just think that he has bots too. He agreed somewhat. But I don't know, bro. Let's hear more.
Well, they're attracted to the big sites. They come to the big sites because they're. But your thing has like 50,000 and then like 100.
So they're attracted to big sites. So Ariel knows something too. Ariel low-key smart with the media. Don't get it twisted. Ariel could be an industry plant himself. Time will tell. But Ariel, another one. Ariel is another one.
Comments, so it's unbalanced. And then you go on your YouTube, it's the same thing. It's 50K, 30K, 40K, but the comments kind of give it away.
We limit the comments in.
Oh, you do?
Some of those.
How come? How come?
In there. Because it's my fucking house, and if somebody wants to come shit on my floor, then they don't need to be there.
Oh, so there's a lot of spam. There's a lot of.
Well, there's also, if you run a business page, you may or may not know this. If you run a business page, then you'll have like extraordinary amounts of spam that are like, crypto by Christie, 6241. If it wasn't for crypto
discrepancy,
by Christie,
50K likes to like 75 comments. No,
I'm not a social media expert.
What about YouTube? Do you buy those views on the channel?
No, I don't think we buy views on YouTube. No.
Okay, so
I don't think so.
That's all.
Yes, he does. He's bought advertisements. That's why if you've ever logged on and you see his video at the top with the ad, with the word ad next to it, you know it to be true. He bought advertisements on the homepage for his interviews with fighters. Just a simple fact. Simple fact.
Legit.
I get like 20, 30,000 views on most of the stuff. Do I run ads to stuff? Yeah, I run.
It's sad. You see, he just said he runs ads, and it's sad that you get that many views with all the money you pay, literally being put on the front homepage.
I run ads to promote some videos.
Sure.
You know who else runs ads? Apple, Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
If on my Instagram, and I posted a screenshot recently because people were saying like, you're paying for this, you're paying for that. The views that I was getting from advertising was less than 2%. And during the peak of the hysteria, when everybody is super excited talking about my black belt, it was like 0.8%. It was less than 1%. So we're not paying significantly for views on these things. We run ads to targeted groups. That's called a business.
If a guest comes on your show, do they have to wear the shirt?
If they don't want to wear my shirt and support my brand, then.
But is that part of the deal?
It's not even. It's not like we have like a contract or a lengthy negotiation. It'd be like, hey, bro, would you put this on, please? Okay. We don't have.
I just want to acknowledge because he says that during his peak of the black belt thing, his the bot views or whatever were lower, right? And same with a little bit before that black belt thing or after, since the black belt thing, his engagement with the ads and shit is like only 2% or something like that. Okay, all right. There's a turning point, right? That's the benefit of ads. Is there's a turning point. It goes from like looking superficial with the intention that a lot of people are going to buy into the gimmick and then start naturally supporting it. So, I mean, you're 5 years into the gimmick. I would expect that by now, or else all the money you spent would be just complete mush waste. Like that was the whole game plan. So yeah, by now, the tide has probably turned a little bit. I mean, you're here on Ariel's show. Everyone's making videos about you and shit like that. So the tide has probably turned now. But we're talking kind of early on too. Let's be real.
A contract.
No, I know, but the vast majority.
It was way higher early on with the ad views, which led to this flip, which is fine. You want to run your business how you run your business? It is what it is.
If not, I saw DJ wasn't. He's one of the few that I saw. are wearing the shirt. So I wondered how that worked.
In a different video with me, he is wearing a shirt.
Oh, okay. So, DJ, I take it back. You wore the shirt. Point is, I've never asked someone to wear something on my show, so I was wondering how that happens.
It's not part of your branding, but it's part of my branding.
So do you tell them, hey, if you come on and I pay you X amount, you have to wear this shirt?
Bro, these are relationships. It's not like contracts. We have.
No, I'm not asking for a contract, but if you're literally standing in front of someone and be like, yo, man, hey, here's the check for whatever, and here's the shirt. Please put this on if you want to be on the show.
I think they understand. If you look at it, if you look at any of my social media, you see people wearing those shirts. Okay?
Sure.
It's part of the branding that we do.
Just say no, you don't do that then. Just say no, I don't do that. It's so fucking easy. These fake ass motherfuckers. It's so easy, bro. Just say no, I don't do that. Say no, I don't make them. I just ask them. If they say no, they say no. If they say yes, they say yes. There's no obligation. There's no extra pay because Mikey already exposed it. He didn't expose it and say it, but he basically said it without saying it. He negotiated. Moneyberg give him a little bit extra money to wear the shirt.
So if a person, I've never had this
DJ didn't negotiate the money.
Precise conversation. I've never had a person object to, I'm not wearing that shirt.
If someone would object, would you say thanks but no thanks, no interview?
Maybe.
Yeah. That's a big deal. I mean, this is all part of the...
He says he would maybe deny the interview if they didn't want to wear the shirt. Interesting. And then that means they don't get the money, right? That he's paying them. So he thinks that because he's paying them, he's going to leverage that shirt idea. He's going to just let that be grouped in. Like, I'm paying you money. The least you can do is wear this shirt, and I'm going to make you feel super uncomfortable and not friendly so that you have to do it and you don't really feel like you have a choice. That's this guy's MO. Make you feel super uncomfortable. Low-key, bully you a little bit with the financial incentive underlying. Right? Because if there's no underlying financial incentive, these guys aren't going to let him bully him and wear the fucking shirt and shit like that. DJ definitely wore the shirt because he's like, damn, bro, that's like $5K. I already agreed to come here. Might as well just get the $5K, $10K. Second time around, DJ's like, nah, I can't do it, bro. I can't do it.
Is it? Should Apple not they shouldn't put their logo on the phone?
They're selling a product.
I am too. I have a business.
When you're doing the interview with someone,
I have a business.
Yeah.
I'm selling a product. You also are running a business, whether you know it or not. I think you know it.
Yeah.
You're also running a business.
Sure.
And there's a look to your show. There's a feel to your show. There's all these trinkets and memorabilia, which are super cool. I keep looking at some of them. They're super cool. A little distracting. They're so cool. Sincerely.
The point is, there's people who don't believe. Essentially, if I could boil it down in the most raw way possible, that you are who you say you are because you're paying famous people to hang around you, do things that you want them to do by putting on your shirt and almost being like a sponsor to them. And then they're going to hook you up with stuff that people put their blood, sweat, and tears and never accomplish in their life. That's what this boils down to. That's what I think Sean's issue is. That's what I think the jiu-jitsu community's issue is. And I guess your reluctance to acknowledge that is what rubs people the wrong way. That's my read on the situation. Is that fair or unfair?
You can have any opinion you want to. You can have any read that you want to. I know what I did.
Let's watch this one.
Would it be unfair to hypothesize that he gave you a black belt just because you pay him very well?
Yeah, I do think it would be unfair for numerous reasons.
Why?
I mean, have you trained with some of these guys? And sincerely, I'm not trying to poke.
No, I don't. I don't. I'm a journalist. I don't train with them.
I'm mostly a businessman.
I understand.
But yeah. I mean, if there's Jake has come to me. We started in November 2001, and it comes like every 4 weeks. Plus, we've trained in other places together.
2001, 24 years.
21.
Okay, sorry.
My mistake.
No.
And thank you for correcting me. 2021, so 4 years. And yeah, he's come to me 50 times. He's never had an excuse. If he had an injury, he shows up. If I have an injury, I show up. We work around it. He's been a great person. He's helped me a lot. Chael Sonnen said about, actually I had a conversation with Chael Sonnen where he brought up a quote from George St. Pierre. He says, when George St. Pierre said that Jake Shields is the best MMA grappler ever, and Chael says, I thought to myself, is that true? Who's better? It's like, maybe Damian Maia? No, Jake beat Damian Maia. Maybe somebody else, I forget who else's name he said. It's like, no, Jake beat him too. He's like, shit, Jake is the best MMA grappler ever. So I think the guy's very talented. We could debate that, but that's what GSP said about
Those
him.
are Jake's accomplishments.
We could debate, anybody could have a debate about those type of
He's
things,
one of
but
the
he's
best.
extraordinarily talented. He's very loyal. He's been consistent. He taught
How many
me
black
what
belts
it
has
is.
he given out in his career? Has he awarded?
I'm not sure.
Do you think more than 5?
I don't. You'd have to ask him. I sincerely don't know. Really, when you said that, and this is a guess, and I don't. It might not be true at all. Really, the number that came to mind is 10 or 12.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if that's
So it's
true
an
at all.
elite group of people.
I'm not sure if that's true at all. I'm
Probably
being-
not more. I
I'm
don't
being
know
very
many
sincere.
Jake Shields black belts. I know he's a part of the Cesar Gracie group and all that, but I don't hear of him awarding a lot of people black belts, which would then make your black belt extra special. Right?
I don't know how. I don't know what gradient of extra special. I don't
It feels
know.
very unique to me.
All right.
All right, so that's the fucking black belt. And the beginning of it, he said, would it be fair to say for people to say that Jake gave it to you because of the money you paid him? He goes, yeah, that'd be super unfair to say.